right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. NorCal Sports Network. Giants moved to 3-1 with a very impressive game tonight. Jordan Hicks dominant, and we'll get into that. But first, let us thank our sponsor, Chapman Law Group. Chapman Law Group, located in Marin. Licensed in all of California. Give Chapman Law Group a call for all your legal needs, especially if you've got a personal injury situation. We specialize in that. You give Chapman Law Group a call at 415-613-9483. They'll help you out. Consultation is free for personal injury. Call's free. The consultation's free. What are you waiting for? Give Chapman Law Group a call. All right, gentlemen. What a so far start to the season. Giants are playing error-free ball. They're getting the pitching, they're getting the timely hitting, and they're getting the defense. The three things that, what you got to do to win ball games, especially when you don't have a murderers type row lineup like the Dodgers or the Padres or the Diamondbacks or the Braves or, some of those teams, the Mets. The Giants are going to have to win this way, and so far they are. So, gentlemen, give me your thoughts on the game tonight.
Go ahead, Luke.
Okay, I thought today two key things: 4 for 6 in runners in scoring position, and I love that they. I think this is the first time. They only did it twice last year, but back-to-back sacrifice flies. I thought, with the great bunt and a sacrifice fly, I think the key to the season, Dan, and I think we've been talking about it, is, they struck out 10 times, but it wasn't strikeouts when it happened. They're putting the ball in play. They're making contact, which I think the team was really lacking. So, I think a great start. And I also thought tonight, this is the first time I really noticed it. The umpires we adjusted to the umpire instead of us criticizing the umpire. I thought the umpire was very generous on the outside calls, and I thought Hicks used it to his advantage, and that's what a good pitcher does. But I thought overall, real nice win, great way to start. Houston's a tough place. Plus, that pitcher, I think, they were 20-4 in his 24 starts last year, so that's a major statement.
Yeah. Los, your thoughts? By the way, you guys see the banner after this show, which will go till 8:30 or so. Then we'll end the show, and then Ned Coletti will join us tonight at 9 p.m. Guys, so you're going to want to be here for that as well. So just be aware of that, I guess. So, Los, what was your take?
Well, we were kind of searching before the season started about what's the Giants' identity going to be, and we're 4 games in, and it looks to be, because let's be real, Cincinnati and Houston are hitters' ballparks, and the Giants pitching them hold them down. Cincinnati put up 14 runs today.
14 tonight, yes.
As soon as the Giants left and their pitching staff left. So the identity, again, it's 4 games, but we all kind of thought the Giants were going to pitch well. The rotation looked pretty solid. The bullpen looked solid. So we kind of knew what we were going to expect there. What we didn't know was what the lineup was going to do. And like Lou alluded to, coming up with clutch hits is huge for this team because they don't have a lot of power and they don't have a lot of speed. So when you get those guys and runners in scoring position to be able to knock them in is huge. And so far, they're looking real good in that aspect. You guys know I love to sell high. in all aspects of things. So can we get a really, really good prospect and really good player for Wilmer Flores right now? His stock will never be as high as it is at this particular moment. But
Hey, the George Curry says Hicks pitched his ass off. He was a dog on the mound. He looked good. He only gave up 1 hit. He was efficient. I think his pitch count tonight was under 80, I believe, maybe in the lower 70s. Let me pull up the box score here, and we'll take a look at that. Hopefully they give us the actual pitch count. Yeah, they do. Jordan Hicks, 72 pitches, 51 strikes. I mean, you can't get any more efficient than that. That's what he's got to do. And the only issue I had, there was only one flaw tonight, and to me, it wasn't anything to do with the players, other than the guy that actually didn't perform. But I would have never stuck Spencer Bivens out there tonight. I wanted to see Hayden Birdsong. He's on this team. He's young. He hasn't pitched in, over a week? When did he pitch last? Did he pitch in any of those games in that game in Sacramento, or did he pitch at all during the Detroit 2-game series? Lou?
No, he did not pitch in the 2 Detroit. I don't know who pitched in that the game in Sacramento. I can't remember.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Bivens has already pitched. He gave up the home run in the loss. And I don't mind Bivens pitching in a game where the Giants are more like they got hit hard. The starting pitcher gets yanked early. I think that's Bivens' spot. I think Birdsong's good enough to come in and hold it down. And it was no pressure. But, Melvin may have had some other reasons. I know that Walker pitched the 9th in a non-save situation up 7-2, but he hasn't pitched since opening day. And you got to remember, he was getting hot in the bottom of the 8th, warming up because Chapman hit a 2-out base hit to drive in 2. Otherwise, it was a save situation. So Walker was hot. You're not going to sit him down and say, you're not going in. He's already loose. And he was, as Chapman's up the bat, if he makes an out, Walker's throwing his heaters, right? He's stretched out, ready to go. He's hot. That's what it means by to be hot. So I don't fault him for bringing in Walker at all in that situation. You had to, even if it was.
Yeah, just to get him some work.
Well, plus, I said he was hot. You don't want to get a pitcher that revved up and then sit him down. So, yes, absolutely. Ned Coletti tonight as a reminder right there. Ryan points that out. So make sure you guys are ready for that. Do a separate show. But guys, I want to ask you, when it comes to, I don't know, are we all on the side over there because of this? Why did we get to the side? What are we doing over there?
I'm not sure. Hey, Dan, one thing I think you bring a great point up, bringing Bivens up. I didn't like it because it's the 8th inning. I could see it maybe if they're up, 5-0 in the 5th or 6th, but 8th inning, there is a little bit pressure. I'm not really sure, especially after Duvall went 1, 2, 3. I didn't like it. And to tell you the truth, Miller, that was probably the biggest part of the game. When he shut him down, I knew sort of it was over. Then they come back and they add it on. But Miller's that's one of the toughest guys to strike out. And they bought the lefty in. It sort of saved us because I think it was one of those things where I thought 8th inning's big pressure. 8th and 9th inning, it's a lot different than the 5th or 6th. So
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was a situation that backfired. Maybe Melvin was trying to get Bivens a little confidence back from losing the game. He thought, we're up 5-0. This is an opportunity for him to go out there, no pressure, and get some outs. I don't think he's going to be on this team too long. I don't believe he makes it through the month of April, simply because you've got better options in Beck and Jelly that are longer guys that can go long. I don't know. We'll see. Bivens, I mean, you're going to have up and down outings. You're not going to be perfect every time. So, yeah, I tend to agree with NorCal Sports Talk Live that I don't think his stuff is that great. It to me, it looks like, I don't see any big,
But
movement.
in all fairness, I don't think it, Jelly and Tristan Beck have great stuff either.
True.
They're
I
not
agree.
exactly overwhelming, but I mean, they're giving Bivens a chance. He's mainly a starter. It's tough for young guys, I think, to be starters their whole lives and then ask them to come out of the bullpen. I hope that Birdsong is not pitching because, like Aaron alluded to a little bit earlier, that his fingers still may be bothering him, because the last thing you want to do is keep a young stud like that has great stuff, like, not pitching. If that's going to be the deal, then send him to AAA and let him start every 5 days.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to bring up Wisenhunt to be a spot guy that pitches now and then. He's a starter. He's probably the ace of the Sacramento River Cats staff. I mean, you probably got, if you had to rank that staff down there, it's probably Wisenhunt, Harrison, and then I don't know who their other starters are. They got McDonald, I believe, and I think they've got Keaton Wynn. But Wisenhunt's got your most upside. You're not gonna bring him into the bullpen and hardly ever pitch him. I think if they need a lefty later on, they'll figure it out. They got Lucchesi down in, I think he's down in Sacramento. I want to give out some stars. Like let's do our. Well, first of all, let's just break down the game, and then we will
Stars of the game.
We'll do the stars of the game. So what I want to do is, as we always do, I'd like to go through the key innings of the game. And first inning was scoreless. Nothing happened there. And in the second, we got the Chapman walked to lead off the inning. And then Ramos grounded into a fielder's choice. Chapman moved over to second. Bailey struck out swinging. And then, love this type of ball. Ramos steals second. Flores singles him home. That's what I love to see. And I'll get to a little bit more about stolen bases as the game goes on here. So the Giants maintain a 1-0 lead, and it remains 1-0 as Hicks is mowing them down. Blanco's, setting the Giants down for the most part until the fifth inning. The Giants come up. Flores grounds out the third. Yaz singles to right, and then he's attempted steal, and Blanco kind of lazily throws it over to first, thinking he's got him picked off. Yaz never stopped and slides into second easily with no throw. I don't care if he was getting caught there. I like the idea that he was running, okay? Something that I'm going to be critical of Fitzgerald here later on in this game. So then Fitzgerald reaches on a beautiful bunt, and it's first and third, and then Wade gets the sacrifice fly, as you mentioned earlier, Lou, the sac fly. Okay, so it's 2-0, and then in the next inning, Lee leads off the inning with a walk. Chapman strikes out looking. Ramos fouled out to second. Bailey walks, and then Flores hits his third homer of the season. He's got 3 on the year now, and he's probably might even be leading the National League in RBIs. Well, maybe not after De La Cruz's night. We'll get to that too. 5-0.
Must we?
5-0 Giants, and then Yaz, after he singled, Flores or Fitzgerald struck out swinging in the inning. In the sixth, Jordan Hicks, final inning, goes out, and he gets basically, well, not quite 1, 2, 3, a walk in there to Altuve, but 4 up, 3 down, no runs scored. Great outing by Jordan Hicks. In the seventh, nothing happened for the Giants, nothing for the Astros in the seventh. And then in the bottom of the eighth, Spencer Bivens comes in to pitch. Smith gets hit by a pitch. Good way to start out. DeBon grounds out. Smith moves over to second. Myers strikes out swinging. Altuve reached on an infield hit, which would have been the third out because Bivens tried to deflect the ball. The ball was going to your defense. You know, when you're pitching, I mean, a catcher sees everything, right? But a pitcher's got to know where his defense is at. Don't you? Especially your infield. Of all places, you got to know where your infields are because, look, baseball is a mental game. Agree? It's how much would you say is up here versus physical skills? 80, 90% mental as far as who succeeds, who doesn't?
Yeah,
you got to know. You got to know if there's a ball hit up the middle. Where's my shortstop? Where's my second baseman? Are they in position? I know it's a reflex, but you don't reach for the ball barehanded when it's coming past you in the air.
Do you think most of today's players have that higher IQ? Those fundamental mental aspects of the game, the situational part of the game, or are they just focused on their stats and getting contracts? Because I don't think they have the IQ of players of the past.
That was just not a smart play. Number one, I get it when it's your glove hand and it's near your face.
Yeah, glove hand's one thing. And he almost got hurt. Yep.
Yeah, glove hand near your face. But to reach out to try and you got to pull your hand. You can't be reaching with a ball outside. That's just a guy that's trying too hard to just he's just trying too hard. So anyway, to finish this eighth inning off, then Paredes doubles and Altuve and Smith scores 5-2. And then I thought was really awesome was Matt Chapman coming through with 2 outs because they basically got those 2 runs right back. And that was a beautiful thing to see Chapman come through because, that's a clutch situation. You're up 3, momentum has shifted slightly to Houston, and he shut it right down. And I love it. And Ibram says $10, bye-bye Bivens. As low stress of a situation as possible and craps the bed again. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I agree. I thought about it, and Posey may not. I said send him down, but I talked to somebody else, and Cody made a good point. He mentioned that he doesn't think that that Posey will. Cody said that he doesn't think Posey will send him down because he wants cohesiveness as a team for at least a while. I think to me, I'm kind of maybe the opposite. I send a message that your job's not secure if you're not performing. What do you think, guys?
Oh, for sure. But contracts and roster politics, as we know all too well, really factor into those things when it's all said and done. Before I forget, I wanted to ask you guys and the chat that we're feeling great about the Giants right now, 4 games in, especially the lineup. Does everybody feel very confident long-term, the whole season, not just for a week, about Wade, Yastrzemski, and Flores in the lineup to produce for a full year? The reason I say that is because we get very caught up into game by game. When we come on here daily, so we talk about it. Right now, the Atlanta Braves have the worst lineup in baseball, and the Giants have one of the best lineups in baseball. The resumes say otherwise, that the Braves have the history and the track record of being able to produce big numbers, and the Giants do not. So, again, I like what Chapman is doing hitting-wise. I'm not the biggest Chapman fan with the bat, at least, but I really like what I'm seeing from him as far as his approach, going the other way, all that good stuff. But is Wilmer Flores, Lamont Wade, and Yaz, because Yaz is going to get 70% of the starts, based on righty-lefty situations. Do you have confidence in them for the full year being in the lineup? Because I don't see a lot of platooning other than right field. They're going with pretty much the same lineup.
Which I love, the fact they're going with the same lineup. Of the three, who do I feel most confident in or comfortable with? I would say Wilmer Flores because he's a proven hitter.
Agreed.
I do not feel comfortable with Wade and Yaz. Wade, I don't know. There may come a situation where they may look, even though he's a left-hander, if he doesn't produce when Encarnacion comes back, is Wade a guy? Or Koss? I think Koss would be the natural guy to go, but Wade is, to me, you know where I like Lamont Wade? Just where you had him in 2021. Pinch hitter, occasional starts, but a guy that useful off the bench, flexible, can play first base, can play the outfield, and can be a good pinch hitter. That's, if you can get to the place where that's where you're using Wade, and instead of being in your lineup, I think the Giants will be better for it.
Yeah, and I was also going to add, Lou, before I let you respond, is Encarnacion was kind of thought to be the DH guy. And he got hurt, which kind of opened the door for Wilmer to just take it, and not be just a role player, but play every day. And to his credit, he's a professional hitter. Say what you want about him. When he's healthy, he is a professional baseball hitter. So where does that leave Encarnacion when he comes back and he's healthy? Is he going to get some run at first base? Because I don't know if Wilmer stays hot. I don't know if Encarnacion is going to get many at-bats at DH.
If you're playing Wilmer at first a lot of the time, and then spots, I don't know. I guess you can't. The one thing you have to be careful with Wilmer is playing him too much in the in the field, right? Because he will wear down. He's slow as molasses. Not a bad fielder, but he's not going to get too many balls in between first and second. He's very slow at the plate. Any kind of ground ball that he hits is an automatic out in the infield, and likely too if there's a runner on. But he's a clutch hitter, and he doesn't strike out. It's one thing. He strikes out, of course, but not nearly as much as the rest of the Giants.
Yep.
So him and Matos in the lineup, and Lee gives three guys with lower strikeout rates, which is nice to have. George Curry, yeah, I mean, that's not a bad deal. The same salary that Naylor's basically making what Yaz is making.
Oh God, that's pretty.
He's making $10 million.
And a much better player.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know what the Diamondbacks gave up to Cleveland for Naylor, but the Giants have one thing. The Giants have in their building is a group of young pitchers. They are, whether they're all going to hit or not depends, but I'm with Ibram here. Ibram says Wade has so little upside. He sees pitches and walks, but has no speed once he's on. 21 Wade had way more pops, so that he had that going for him. Yeah, I thought, Wade hit 18 homers that year. And like his balls that he hits out to center field, when he hits them, they seem very weak, don't they? It almost seems like he's hitting the ball below the barrel. Do you think maybe he should get one of those torpedo bats and make the, would you imagine you put the meat of the bat down like way below the normal? And this is where I hit.
I think the whole league is going to go to the torpedo bats with everything that I'm hearing and seeing, and it just makes a lot of sense. But Wade to me looks like he's kind of pull happy. Like Wade, when he was going well in 21, he was going the opposite field a lot. And he seems to be coming out that, like, if you're throwing hard stuff away, he's just hitting a can of corn to the outfield. He's not trying. He's trying to pull stuff, and that's just not his game. So I don't know. I agree. Out of the three, I have the most confidence in Flores. But that being said, Flores to me is the ultimate spot player. You play him every day. You make him run out those ground balls. You make him run, period. He's a hamstring waiting to happen. He is. I'm not trying to be negative, but I mean, we've seen it before. He's older, and it takes a lot to get those legs going and to get that body moving. So when you make him move too much playing every day, you're asking for trouble. So I think he's a great spot player, but he's going too well right now, so you can't take him out of the lineup. So it's kind of a catch-22.
So Naylor was traded for Slade Ciccone. Okay, the pitcher that was one of the better pitchers in the system. He made a few starts, came up for Arizona over the last couple of years, but wow, the Giants definitely had a package that could have got Naylor. I know it's just for 1 year, but isn't that what you wanted? 1 year? You don't want to block Eldridge? Isn't that what? I don't know, man. There was first baseman out there to be had. But you know what?
I mean, you got Verlander basically for 1 year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I didn't get that either, because you get these guys for 1 year and they do real well. Then again, depending on where you are in the standings, you have a trading chip to, get more prospects and build this team up even more. But we'll see.
Cole says, am I going to change my opinion of Hicks in the rotation? I've been supportive of him in the rotation, and why not have a great pitcher throwing more innings? Cole, I've said that Jordan Hicks will pitch well the first half. He did last year. He's got great stuff. He's got 4 really elite pitches. The issue is, do they pitch him to the point where he starts to break down, and then you get him for a half a season? If he pitches like tonight and they limit him to 75 pitches a game, I'm fine with that, because he can last longer. The problem is they were throwing him out, and he was, they were going, oh, you can get your 95 pitches in, and then we're going to pull you. If he can pitch efficiently, I kind of like the idea. Somebody said it in our chat last night. They thought maybe, I think it was Dallas who said it. He said he thought maybe they might do a piggyback with Hicks and then Birdsong. Hicks goes 5, Birdsong goes 4. You save your bullpen, and then you're kind of running like that with almost like a 6-man rotation when you do that.
Yeah.
So I think I just don't want to see Hicks pitching 90+ innings or pitches a game. Like he's laboring, but he's in the game. Oh, well, let's just stretch him. He can go 90. He goes 90. He pitches 5 2/3. He runs out of gas. You pull him, and he's up to 95, 100 pitches. And then it's like, okay. And we do it. Repeat, rinse, repeat. We keep doing that. He's keeping you in ball games. But tonight he was dominant. His line tonight, by the way, for Jordan Hicks was 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. That is that's a line where you go, dang, I wish I had him in my fantasy team,
Hint.
Yeah.
Hicks is like the muscle cars of the 60s. He runs out of gas real fast.
Yeah.
He did put on weight, and it looks like muscle. So maybe he has a little bit more endurance to go. And when I say endurance, not innings as far as game to game, but like he ran out of gas around June, July.
Yeah.
So
I think the Giants, think about this. Buster was all there for the great Bochy years, right? He saw what it was like. He was the catcher. You don't think he knows what Bochy's mindset is like to a T? And him and Melvin are talking. Look, you can mix up this pitching staff. You've got Webb, your workhorse. You've got Ray that can give you close to 30, a full season if he stays healthy. Verlander, maybe he only gives you 20 to 25 starts. Hicks, maybe he gives you 20 starts if they're quality. And then you got Roop. Maybe he gives you 15 to 20, but you got Harrison that can pitch. You've got Wynn that can give you some starts. You got Wisenhunt that can come up and get. If they can just have a plan to get through the 162 without overloading these guys, hey, if this looks like a possible playoff team, there's no way I'm pushing Logan Webb to 200 plus innings. There's just no way. If they are a playoff team, going to be a possible wild card team, and it looks like they're going to be I'm going to hold Webb back to maybe 180. I want him to be able to pitch in the playoffs.
Lou, what do you think of the idea as far as Jordan Hicks and stretching him out so he can actually be a solid pitcher going into August and September? What do you think of the idea of either A, skipping a start once in a while, or B, maybe instead of him pitching that 5th day, just push him back once in a while to a 6th day or even a 7th day?
Yes.
I mean, sometimes baseball is so locked in, you got to do things this way instead of thinking outside the box. You have a racehorse here, using that analogy because I know Lou knows his horses real well. You have a racehorse with Hicks. The guy is nasty, but to sustain it for a long period of time, would skipping a start be better, or would be maybe pushing him a few games back a day or two be better?
You're muted, Lou. You're muted.
First of all, we're only 4 games into it. I love how the chat is so negative about me and Dan's predictions. Guys, predictions are done until game 41. So everybody in the chat, I love how you guys just throw knives at us, and it's fine because that's what makes the shows. We'll admit when we're wrong, but it's only game 4. So everybody relax.
Okay? Yeah, I throw knives back.
We don't even have the biggest homer on the show tonight in the chats, and I'm already getting all this negative. I like that idea with Hicks.
Are you getting negative stuff in the chat?
You know what? The last couple of days, it's fine.
Did they ask us for the Giants record after 4 games?
No,
did they ask us
nobody
that,
did.
or it was 162, right?
One of the things too is we're going after last year's things. I think the key stat tonight, and then I'll answer your question because I don't think this happened at all last year. Are you guys ready? 6 RBIs with 2 outs. Let me repeat that. 6 RBIs with 2 outs. I don't remember that one time last year where we got 6 RBIs with 2 outs. That's why the Giants are succeeding. They're putting the ball in the bat, and they're hitting in clutch. Now, it's got to last. It's only been 4 games. I don't really think anything about the Giants. I love they're getting off to a good start because everybody in the NL West is until literally probably game 40 or 41. 1/4 of the season, guys. So everyone's just got to relax. I love the positive.
I said last night 50 to 60 games. You really can't.
Yeah, you can't really tell. So everybody just chat, and I love it. I mean, do you guys think the Dodgers are going to win 162 games? They'll come back to earth too. Speaking of Hicks, I thought tonight the great thing about Hicks, and it's not easy. It was the first time he's ever pitched in Houston. He's from Houston. He had 92 people there. If you want to know pressure, see how many people have pitched in the first time in their home with all their friends and family and actually succeed. So this start today might be more than we're even talking about. First time ever pitch in Houston because, he never had to. First time starting in Houston. He had his family there. They kept showing on Channel 2. I thought tonight maybe we're wrong about Hicks. Maybe this whole offseason, all he did was getting to become a starter, gaining the weight, learning how to pitch 50 to 75 pitches. I think, Lois, what you bring up is great. It's okay. Let's just go because we're going to have a streak of 17 straight games in a row. You know what? I love what they do with Webb because he's proven, hey, let's keep him on every 5 days. But I think with Hicks, maybe go 2 starts, skip the 3rd. I love going 2 starts, getting the flow, then maybe skipping 1. And then when the Giants have that sort of maybe a day off, put him in his regular rotation, when they need it. But I think, that's a great plan, Ken, because he was firing today. I saw 97. I saw 100 a couple times. It's not going to last. But if they do what is right and they actually, pitch him every time. And then if they maybe skip a start, like a 6-man rotation, but really skip him, I think he'll be productive. And I think, Dan, you bring up a great point. Who cares if he pitches 200 if we're a playoff team and then he can't pitch when the playoffs really start? I think what's going to have to happen, especially Webb being a leader, is going to say, I don't care about the 200. I want to be game one starter. And that's what the great ones do. They want to be the ace when the playoffs happen. It's not necessarily.
Well, I guarantee you the Dodgers will enter the playoffs with nobody over 150 innings.
Yeah. And I
they
think
are going to be fresh.
Point.
They're playing for October. Now the Giants obviously have to, push a lot harder just to get to the playoffs than the Dodgers are going to have to. But I think, and I don't have them going to the playoffs. Okay. I said they're going to be in contention. I got them winning 86 games. I'm going to stick to that. Okay. I'm sticking to 86 and 76, but I will say this. If they're in the race at the trade deadline and they're playing well and they're, 10, 15 games over 500 in late August, or when is the trade deadline? Into July?
End of July.
If they're playing well, there's no reason that they couldn't push to get to a 90-win season if Buster makes some moves. So, there's a comment up here. I think, Lou, by the way, did you get the lock today from Senior that take the over in the A's game?
I bet the Cubs today.
Did you take the over or just the?
I just bet the Cubs. I haven't even seen the score now. I just saw that for an opening of a thing. It's sort of amazing.
Okay.
Brand new ballpark, new everything. The pressure is always on the home team.
Yeah.
So it's
Will
5-3
says
right now, top of the fifth. But
what's score right now?
5-3 Cubs in the top of the fifth.
All right.
Really cool that the A's are wearing honoring Ricky.
Ricky Henderson. That is cool. That is cool. I saw Damon Bruce take a little shot on Twitter about that to the A's. Yeah, thanks for honoring Ricky by leaving his hometown. Yeah, you could have honored him by staying in Oakland. Not a bad point. This ball club might not even need Birdsong, Will Martinez says, like Marty Lurie had said. If this ball club can stay in contention, I guarantee Posey makes a big move at the deadline. We might have something with this team.
Well, that's a fact, because if the Giants are in the race in July, they're going to be buyers. The Giants only know how to buy. They're not sellers. They don't have a track record of being sellers, and I don't think if they tank and fall apart for some reason that Posey will all of a sudden change and be sellers. That's just not in their DNA for whatever reason. That's how you become good. Sell when you're bad and buy when you're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll agree. If they're there in contention, I think Posey will make a swing for a bat.
Yeah. Dallas says, Lou, Mr. Sugar tonight, not Mr. Salty, coming in with some.
I mean, there's no reason to be negative
so
far. I mean, we're 3-1, but don't worry.
Look,
it's still very early in the season. Why be negative?
It's coming. Lou's coming with the salt. It's coming. You hear
it's coming.
Guys,
and they want to show. They want to show a Ray Ratto and Lou segment where Lou just goes off and we get Ray Ratto in here. Hey,
I'll tell you one thing. I'll be negative. How can Marty Lurie? See, here's Marty saying we might not need Birdsong. My God, we're 4 games into it. Has he not been watching? We
don't know the context. We don't know the context that it was said. I don't know.
One thing about the Giants is expect injuries. Okay, guys. Unfortunately, it happens to every single major league team. Not everything is going to be perfect. The one thing about the Giants is they right now have a great starter if somebody goes down. Last year, all we talked about, and again, in the bullpen, as I call it, in the minors, we have 2 studs. Hopefully, we can have Los's twin perform like he should and get his act together so we can bring Harrison back to the majors. But, guys, right now, it's going great. It's the way it should be. And, it really makes Friday's opener even more special. No matter what happens, we're going to not have a losing record. We're gonna go, and Friday should be spectacular. As long as the Giants don't do the usual and bring back Will Clark to throw the first pitch or Barry Bonds. Think outside the box. Remember, Giants baseball, nothing like it. Yeah, it's the same. That's all I'm asking.
So who would you want to see throw out the first ball Friday?
How about the San Francisco's all new? Have somebody, since the Warriors are off, do something that isn't the same is all I'm saying. I think to get to maybe do something like maybe bring Rennell out. Hey, guys, I've missed you for a year. It's a new generation. Something good, something to get people excited about. When you see Bonds, it's sort of the same thing. That's all I'm saying. Maybe get, unfortunately, you can't have Steph throw the ball because he did it last year. You got to do something new. We're trying to do
something. You want to do something fun?
Yeah, fresh.
How about Mad Bum coming out to throw the first pitch?
Ooh,
do you remember how exciting it was when he came out on the horse? It had never been done before.
Yeah,
when he had the
Lincecum would be great. Yeah,
just do something different. So
maybe some of that. Maybe some of that money. Maybe some of that money is saved in the offseason by not going after Alonso. You could pay Timmy. Pay Timmy. Look, hey Timmy, come on out. We'll give you $500,000 to shoot.
Just something different. You already know the mayor's going to be there. The mayor's got to be there. But I'm just saying, do something different. Don't do the obvious. Because knowing Larry Bear, dude, it's a big secret. And you know what? It's going to be. You know what, guys? We lost Willie Mays last year, so we have his granddaughter throwing.
Hey, Verlander's pitching.
Something he needs.
Verlander's pitching.
Bring Kate Upton to throw the first pitch. I love that.
There it is.
Kate Upton. That would be special, and it would be talked about
in a miniskirt.
Just something different. That's all I'm asking.
In a low cut blouse, you mean?
There we go. Yeah. There we go. That will fire up most of the crowd. Just leave it at that.
The Mad Bum would be good. But yeah, Lou's right. I mean, it's got to be something.
Yeah, opening day is supposed to be special. So, have Steve Perry throw it out. Have Steve Perry sing the national anthem and then throw it out. Do something, because right now, the last couple of years have been so down with the Giants. Farhan, he's gone. All this stuff. Do something. The Giants, it's a whole new attitude, and bring something to get us all pretty much fired up. That's all I'm saying.
Larry Bear would give Lincecum a sack of weed before they lay out $500K to throw out the first pitch.
Yeah,
they can afford. Hey, I think it would be great, man. Timmy, they owe Timmy still, as far as I'm concerned, man. The guy, he turned. Yeah, geez. I mean, he was underpaid for his career. I mean, I
heard Brian Wilson's a little bit down on his luck. Maybe he can bring him beard, the good old beard. Heard he's kind of fallen on some rough times. So bring him back, give him 100G or something
Atlee
like that.
Hammaker. Good old Atlee. What do you guys think of tomorrow's game before we head out of here? Hey, and guys, do not forget, after this show, take a break, go do something, come back 9:00. Ned Coletti will be talking a lot about the start of the season and what the Giants are doing, what's going on in baseball. So don't forget, Ned Coletti will be here at 9:00. Not this show, different link. So come back in. We'll have a different show altogether. But tomorrow, this is an important game tomorrow. Even though it's only the 5th game of the season, I mean, my goodness, we're only 3% through the season. It's early, but you got your ace going tomorrow, and you have a chance to win the series with him. And if you win tomorrow, you have a chance for a sweep and a really good start. You don't want to lose a game where your number 1 is going against their number 5. Okay, because you got Valdez Wednesday.
Yeah.
So you really need. This is where Logan Webb has to earn that contract that he got, in my opinion. I mean, you're facing a tough team, but you're not going up against Valdez. You're not going up against Hunter Brown. You're going up against Hayden Wisniewski. Hayden Wisniewski, okay?
Who's got good stuff? Doesn't
Good
have the
stuff. He
name.
was good with the Cubs. That was a nice pickup for them.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
he got
He
him
doesn't
in
have
that
the resume
picture.
or the name, but don't be
Right.
fooled. He's got good
He's
stuff.
good.
You're right.
Right.
He's the number 5. Why isn't Landon Roop starting tomorrow? By the way,
Because they're keeping Webb on his 4 games.
on his.
Yeah, they had Friday off.
What
So
did I
now they
say?
want every
Baseball's
Friday.
in its pattern that it
Oh
needs
gosh,
to do. But
you do not want to see that. You don't want to see me and Rothberg on his ball, dudes. Not with my hip, but I would love to have one coming right at me. Probably. Oh, would that be bad? You misjudge it, smack right in the face. You're out. Oh gosh.
let me before we talk about tomorrow's game, let me do a back to life, back to reality moment, and just say that I'm going to judge the Giants lineup after about 10 to 15 games in their home ballpark, a pitcher's park. I want to see if small ball, that they seem to be doing a little bit better, will translate over to Oracle, because the Giants the last few years do not hit it home very well. So great that they're hitting well in Houston and Cincinnati, 2-hitter ballparks. But if this is real, like Lou said, he's ready with that salt container. You know, he's going to be dumping it. He's going to be there live to see it. Let's see how the Giants improved lineup does after, again, about 10 or 15 games at home. If they're doing these things and putting up 5, 6, 7 runs, you might get 3 tips of the hat here. Not until then, though.
There we go. You heard it right there. Los talking about that. Giants playing at home. There we go. By the way, it looks like a rough start for the Braves and an amazing start for the Dodgers. Bottom of the 5th, Dodgers lead the Braves 4-0.
Maybe the Braves will get desperate and we can get Matt Olson for Wilmer Flores. You know, there's some guys in the chat that says, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't trade Wilmer Flores for Matt Olson, Lou. I wouldn't. There are some in there.
No way.
Yeah, there's some people in the chat that would not do that. That's how
Dan,
homer they are.
Dan, don't forget about the Padres, because obviously, you know, that place
Yes,
is still
I'm
rocking
gonna
the ownership and everything. Maybe we were wrong about the new ownership. but
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe
this
so,
team-
because the Padres are good. Right now, the Padres are let me see what's going on with the Padres. They're in action with the Guardians. Padres leading 7-2. Top of the 7th. How is Manny Machado going? I forgot to put him in my starting. Gosh. 3 for 4, Manny Machado. I forgot to put him in my lineup tonight, Los. I left Chapman in there. But Chapman did get 2 RBIs, so I guess I'll take that. Shoot.
And then, Dan, you did see Sleeping
It always
Gaming
happens
said
that way.
Profar from Atlanta suspended 80 games.
Oh, yeah. And you wonder why his exit velocity was up 5 miles per hour last year. Jerks and Profar, 5 miles per hour exit velocity. Never played well before that year. Look, you do the roids, you get the 3-year, $42 million contract. Otherwise, you might have been looking at 2 years and maybe $7 million for a guy like him. He got $1 million contract the year before that. So maybe, Profar says, you know what? I'll take. It's worth it. This is. I'll get
chance.
my $42 million, my one chance, and there's nothing you can do about it in baseball. It happens. I mean, wow. Let's see. Let's finish up. You guys got any closing thoughts before we talk about our stars of the game?
I'm just glad baseball's back and they count.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Following
Ooh,
all the
yeah, Ellie did hit 2 bombs tonight. Did he have a torpedo bat tonight? Was he using one?
Maybe he was.
Screw him.
Yeah. Mitchell Iness says he likes this team. I do too, guys. I like this team. You've heard me rip on this team for 2+ years. I wasn't wrong. And I said coming out of the gate, I like this team. So we'll see.
You wrote it down, Dan. You remember you should put it below the Toronto hat. You have the sheet.
My wife moves my sheet and I can't find it. I hope she didn't throw it away.
Maybe Buster ate it.
I had the date on it. It had 86 and 76, and you had them 85 and 77. So we'll see. We'll see. But guys, give me your player of the game tonight.
I'm going to go a little outside of the box, and I'm going to say Camilo Doval. Not because he had a not
good
because
pick,
he had
good pick, Lou or Lowe's.
Not because he got the save, but his head. We talked at the beginning of the show that the game is 80-90% mental. He's got electric stuff. He's got an electric arm. But
I told you guys he was going to bounce back.
Yeah, I don't know what the pitch clock or whatever messed in his head. He lost his job last year, but having a real dominant Camilo Doval in the bullpen, whether it's 7th, 8th, or here and there in the 9th inning, I think goes a long way for the Giants being pretty successful this year. So Camilo Doval, like where he's going, and I liked what I saw today.
Lou.
I'm going to do another relief pitcher. I'm going to say Eric Miller, since I was getting a little bit worried. Miller came in and said, "Hey, how you doing? 1, 2, 3, thanks. It's over." So Eric Miller is my player of the game.
Oh, okay. Well, since you guys are just laying it up there for me right there, let me just whack this thing out of the park here. That went off the wall and came right back at my head.
Isn't that what good co-hosts do? Is just serve it up for you as a layup, But don't be like the Warriors and pass up on a layup and go pass it out and shoot a 32% 3-pointer. Take the layup, man. Take the layup. Take the 2 points.
I whacked that thing. All right, you guys left it up there for me. I thought someone was going to take Jordan Hicks, and I was going to thought someone might take Wilmer Flores, and I was going to go with Yaz. But since you didn't take any of those guys, I'll take Jordan Hicks, my player of the game, and I would have given Flores. I thought one of you guys. How can you not? Flores had 4 RBIs tonight.
All with 2 outs.
Yeah. So awesome tonight with Hicks. I mean, with the stuff he had, he looks. He's a guy in the beginning of the season looks really, really good.
Really good. Really good.
And look, my criticism of Jordan Hicks not being in the rotation has nothing to do with his ability to pitch. It's more like what is best for the team long haul. But you know what? If he's going to pitch, he put on the weight, and he looks like he put on the muscle. He looks much stronger. Maybe he realized, look, he's diabetic too, so he has to know his body pretty well. He's got to go out there and get stronger. Let's give credit where credit's due. One thing we do at NorCal Sports Network, unlike some of the, what do they call it? The we're new media, old media. Old media tends to only tell you one side. The old media, we're going to give it to you both ways.
Yeah, maybe he learned from last year. I need to do something. If they're going to give me an opportunity, I need to do something to stay in the starting rotation.
Yeah. There you have it right there. Oh, guys, hey, we've got special guest. I will be we got Ned Coletti coming on. I will be on Marty Lurie's show. I believe it's Wednesday night. Yeah, Wednesday night I'll be over on Marty Lurie's show, Marty Lurie and Friends. And we will have Ned Coletti here tonight in about 15 minutes. And about 15 minutes. And then we'll also have Glenn Kuiper on later in the week.
former Oakland A's play-by-play guy for years. So, and he's been involved with the Giants organization. So we'll talk to Glenn, guys. So make sure you're keeping it right here, NorCal Sports Network. So we appreciate everybody joining. And for Los, for Lou, we really do appreciate you taking your time to follow NorCal Sports Network. Make sure you give it a like and subscribe. If you haven't done so, like the video on the way out. And we'll see you back here in about 14 minutes with the great Ned Coletti. Thanks, guys. Everybody, have a great night. We'll see you back here very, very shortly. All right? Take care. Go Giants!